during the readout of this call, a senior official said that the president was really sort of laying out his assessment of the situation to President Xi, that he was making clear the implications of certain actions, but that President Biden wasn't making specific requests of China. Why not, and given the stakes here?
Because China has to make a decision for themselves about where they want to stand and how they want the history books to look at them and view their actions. And that is a decision for President Xi and the Chinese to make.
Given the growing concerns about China possibly aligning with Russia, would you say it's more concerning at this point that they would help Russia resupply, help Russia with military equipment, or that they would offer economic support to help Russia evade sanctions?
Any of those would be concerning to us, but I'm not going to give a rank order assessment of which we're more concerned about.
And you don't have a sense that China may be leaning more in one direction or another?
Not an assessment I can provide from here.
I guess sort of a logistical question. You know,
sure.
the Chinese got out a readout of the call fairly quickly.
Before it was even done.
It was, I think, 3.5, maybe
remarkable.
4 hours before your readout was out. Should we read anything into the time that it took to get your side of the story out?
So it was a lengthy call, as you all know. 2-hour call is of course a lengthy call, even with translation. And what typically happens, and this time is a little longer than typical, but is there's a meeting to discuss what happened during the meeting and assess what kind of information we can provide publicly. Obviously, we want to do as much as that as possible to all of you, but we also want to ensure we're protecting the diplomatic channels and conversations. So it was an effort to do exactly that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, so, we've spoken to U.S. and European diplomats who say that there's still not exactly an agreement on what the red line would be. That, when China would face consequences. Can you say a little bit more about those discussions and whether there is agreement with G7 allies and others who have joined in about what the trigger is and what sort of consequences there would be?
Well, Andrea, I would say, the movement of China to align with Russia, or to the movement of them to align with Russia, or their proximity of moving closer together, is certainly of great concern to us, as we have expressed, and we are not the only country that has expressed that concern, including many other members of the G7 have expressed exactly that concern. So this is part of the discussion. It has been an ongoing part of the discussion. Expect it certainly would be when the president goes to Europe next week, but we're not in a place at this point to outline the specifics. We're still discussing.
Did President Biden directly ask President Xi if he intends to help Russia?
Well, he made clear what the implications and the consequences would be if China provides material support to Russia as it conducts brutal attacks against Ukrainian cities and civilians. And that made clear what the consequences would be should they do that.
But did he ask, do you intend to help Russia, yes or no?
I think making clear what the consequences are made clear we don't want them to do it.
So can you offer any explanation for why the U.S. still has concerns after this call?
Because we'll continue to watch until we see what actions they take or don't take.
And following up on Andrea's question, does the administration view any distinction between financial support and military support for Russia? Or will the consequences, will there be consequences regardless of what kind of aid?
We would watch closely, and we would be prepared for there to be consequences, but we would look closely on what it is, and we would align with our partners around the world.
And is there going to be escalatory consequences like we've seen with Russia?
Again, I'm not going to get into a hypothetical at this point in time. We'll have those discussions directly with the Chinese and directly with our European partners.
And one more. Short of getting any guarantees from China that they are not going to help Russia, and short of China condemning Russia for its actions, what is it about the call that President Biden thinks went well, as he said to one of my colleagues?
I think it was an opportunity for the president to convey directly what our detailed efforts have been, what we have seen on the ground, how we have responded to the invasion, why we have the significant level of concern that we have, and also to convey very directly, leader to leader, what the implications and consequences would be if Russia provides material support. And that leader to leader engagement, an opportunity for there to be a continuing discussion, certainly the president sees as a positive development. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.